Hey everybody, happy Friday. We're going to do a quick video that I hope is going to help some new players and, everybody. We're going to talk about how to do priority orders, and this is a great example. So what we're looking at here is a passage that is going to flood and become useless if we cannot dig it out fast enough. So anytime you have a fortress, you're going to have work orders. You're going to have all these different things, conflicting instructions for things that you want done. So it's a complicated language to explain how the dwarf should prioritize things, but here, we're going to break it down. I have 4.5 bullet points for you. So first one, job paint priorities. Anything that you can paint on the map as a job, like mining, chopping wood, smoothing stone, gathering plants, you can set, if you look down at the bottom in that toolbar, you can set it as a priority between 1 and 4, and the automatic setting is 4, but you can set it to 1. That means I want this done as a priority. If you're like me, you'll end up setting everything to 1, which kind of defeats the point. But so that's my first tip for any mining, chopping, plant gathering, smoothing stone, anything you see at the bottom there. You can set it between 1 and 4, and so you can actually give the dwarves a sense of what needs to go first. In this case, you see I'm mining priority 1 because this is filling with water and we have to fix it. All right, second item: enabling and disabling labor types. So when you go to labor, you'll see mining, chopping wood again, fishing, gathering plants, smoothing stone, hauling, cleaning things. All of these can be turned off or turned on or turned partially on and assigned to certain dwarves. So a lot of times what I'll do if I need something, I say, no, we need to focus on mining. You can assign every dwarf to mining and then turn off their ability to do other labor. And you'll see when you go in that menu that there's a green unlocked lock or a red locked lock. And that means can the dwarf help out on everyone does these instructions? So like I said, say mining, for example, you can't set mining to everyone does this. It's a special one. So let's use plant gathering instead. So everyone is set to plant gathering, but you can lock certain dwarves and say, even though I say everyone, this one, because he's not officially assigned to that, he should focus. And that's good for managers, for brokers, doctors, officials who, when you ask the whole fortress for something, there's only one dwarf who can take care of it. You usually don't want to just task them to do random things because then they'll get distracted. They'll start cleaning something or they'll start doing something else. Let's see, what else do I have? So hot swapping work orders. I remember what that means. So these are my notes from earlier. So work orders are a great way to see how your fortress is proceeding. So you go in, you press O as the hotkey, and then you can have your manager assign work orders make 30 barrels, make 30 chairs, cut 999 gems, whatever. And if you see one that's not being touched, I've talked about this in other videos. If you see one that's not being touched, there's usually some issue. And then see in the left-hand corner of the screen that no entry sign, that right at the top of my alerts in the left-hand corner, that no entry sign. Those are canceled work orders, which means I asked something for my dwarves to do, and some dwarf said, okay, I'll do that, and then tried it and then failed. If you go into that menu, it'll show you why it failed. And so this map was a really crazy heavy aquifer, and so I didn't have any non-economic stone for a while, and so I was trying to make, I think it was charcoal. No, it was rock mechanisms or something like that, and I didn't have any non-economic stone to use, and so I kept halting. I kept getting that no entry, and I'm saving that aquifer maybe partially, not important. But so the point being that if you see a work order that is stuck, go into your cancel menu and try to debug it, troubleshoot it, and get it working again. And then when it starts running, you can also, I go into my work orders and I'll cancel things. I'll say do 9,999 barrels. And then when, they've done 300, I'll say, okay, that's good. I'll cancel it. You can set in the work orders, the one at the top is the top priority and the one at the bottom is the bottom priority, and you can sort them manually. It doesn't really make that much of a difference in terms of how quickly things get done, especially in a big fortress, because enough dwarves will check every job and then just do the ones that they can. What else do I got? So anytime that you're constructing something out of the construction menu, the build menu, like a wall or a floor or a door or a statue, a lot of times if anything weird happens, if water hits a dwarf too hard, if they get scared by something that they see, that job will get interrupted. And then the way the game's engine works is that you said, hey, this thing is flooding. I need to build a wall right now. And the dwarves will set up 90% of the wall, and then one piece of the wall, water's now flowing through. And you're like, why is this not? And it's because it's suspended. So anytime you check on a job, like a place order, like build a chair, build a table, anything like that, and before it is set up, it will either be, construction will be inactive, I think is what they call it, or suspended. And if it's suspended, you need to toggle it back to not suspended. Just like burrows, suspended means permanently on hold until the player instructs it to proceed again. So it's a little annoying. It's kind of like digging through damp or warm rock where you have, as a player, have to insist that the game do something if you're serious about it. But so yeah, if you're trying to build something and it's like a ghost, it's taking forever to be built, check if it's been suspended, and that means that some dwarf had an accident on his way to complete that job, and is now waiting for you to confirm that it should try again. I'm actually burning through my points a little bit fast this time. I'm talking too fast, but it's Friday. It's Friday night. I gotta go play more Dwarf Fortress, you guys. I gotta get out of here and play more Dwarf Fortress. All right. So the last thing is, so switches, things like levers. So this used to actually be a more common instruction that you could give the game, but I think it was too complicated, and so they took it out of most things. But if you build a lever, and I always almost say level, but if you build a lever out of the mechanism menu, you'll see that you can actually hit an exclamation point marker in that user interface, and that will actually say, I want this done right now. Like the first dwarf that can do this, I want them to do this. And that can involve like linking things to a lever or pulling the lever. And that's very useful. If something's flooding, you can send a dwarf right away, emergency, pull the lever. And I think that's why that's basically the only part that survived to Steam. Hopefully, as the game gets patches and stuff, there'll be more things like that where you can specify to your whole fortress, this is the thing, like this, like right now, get me a dwarf. Other things, okay, actually, you know what? I didn't even have this in my notes, but I just thought of this and it's relevant. So a lot of times when the traders come, to get the best deals and to have the trade go well, you want to send your broker. There's 3 options when the traders come. You can send your broker, or you can send anyone, or you can send no one. Obviously, no one means that the trade doesn't get done. Anyone means that you'll probably get ripped off, or you might insult the visiting traders because you're the person who's trying to make this deal doesn't know how to do it. But so a lot of times the broker will be busy with something, and so this is a great example of how to like prioritize work. So your options there are you can lock your broker in the labor menu, turn that green unlocked lock into a red locked symbol, and that means that he won't go off and gather plants, he won't haul things, he won't try to clean things. That'll make him more attentive to his broker duties. And then what I do to force it, actually, this is the nuclear option, you create a burrow that says broker to depot, and you assign your broker to that, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I said that right, but you assign your broker to that burrow, and the burrow is just the trade depot. So you literally, like when you need your broker, you enable this burrow and it says, emergency, you at all costs must go to this trade depot. And then once he's there, he'll usually pick up the job and he'll trade. So that's a little tip. If you ever had to, the most stressed I've ever felt during Dwarf Fortress is maybe when the caravan of traders are going to leave and my broker is like still sleeping, or he's drinking, or he's attending a meeting that the mayor is having that is useless, that doesn't do anything. All right, I'm getting heated. I'm going to check in. This footage is from a new map with a very heavy aquifer, and we've tapped this river that you see on the left-hand side of your screen for a waterfall, and it's going good. I felt so bad about the last video that I'm treating these dwarves good. You see they are all happy. Not even every single one of them is happy. Not even one is just like regular. I'm going to try to make a good home for these dwarves. And then I haven't forgotten about that other thing I promised y'all where I'm going to go deep. I'm going to show you guys like magma forges and some of the end game content. But that's all coming up. Look forward to it. That's all I got. I guess I'm running a little, well, let's recap. We got a couple more minutes. Before I forget, if you made it this far, please like and subscribe every time. It really helps. It helps the channel. It's the only way that YouTube will actually like show my stuff to other people. And I like the attention of knowing about Dwarf Fortress. So feel free to do that. And all right, so to summarize, what was the point of this? Dwarf Fortress explained poorly, getting anything done now. So first thing, job paint priorities. Set them to 1. Mining, cutting wood, stuff like that. Set it to 1 if you want it done now. Enable and disable labor types as you want if you want to focus your whole fortress towards something, towards fishing, towards smoothing stone, towards anything. Just disable the other labor types so that they can focus on it. Mining, anything like that. Watch your work orders, see which ones are getting stuck. In the manager menu, press O to get in the work orders. See which ones are stuck, see which ones are not that important now. Always be adjusting those. If something is not being built fast enough, make sure to unsuspend construction on that item. Switches have a thing where you can prioritize it as the main thing for any available dwarf to do right away. And what was the last thing? I don't have it in my notes, but it was something I thought of at the last second. Somebody can tell me later, or I'll realize it later. All right, I'm running out of time. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you all soon. Good night.